What's up, people? It's your girl Adiola.
Sowore has been released just in time for Christmas. We're so excited, we're so happy. Hopefully it's for real this time around.
God bless you, sir.
Congrats, sir. Congrats, sir. Congrats, sir. Okay,
Calm down. Wait. Thank you. Don't worry.
Calm down.
We'll let you guys into a time to talk to the media.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
The only thing is to thank Nigerians. They made this happen.
Yes.
And they should not relent.
Yes.
Nobody can take the people who are determined for granted.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to Nigeria.
Same to you, sir. Bye-bye.
Wow. We're so excited for Sowore. Hopefully they're not going to pick him up again, but honestly, this is exciting. And it's not just Sowore that was released. The former security advisor to the president, Sambo Dasuki, was also released. You know, as exciting as this is, and honestly, we're so happy for Sowore, but it also breaks my heart that Buhari has now become the judge and jury, the executive, the legislature, the everything. I mean, if the court says to release someone and they refuse to release them until Buhari had to order the person's release, that means we don't need a court anymore in Nigeria. It's like the court is just there, the judges are just there. He's not the one making all the decisions. Then this is not just about Sowore. I mean, even Dasuki had been granted bail by 4 different high court judges since November of last year, and they refused to release him until Buhari said that he should be released now, more than a year after. So we are definitely in a dictatorship. If Buhari has to be the one to order somebody's release before they would be released, it's heartbreaking. You know, kudos to the US for putting so much pressure on the Nigerian government until Sowore was released. And speaking of the US,
as you guys know, US President Trump was impeached by the House, majority of whom are Democrats, even though he's still president, because the Senate, which is mainly Republicans, will not remove him. So, but watching the more than 6-hour debate about removing Trump or not, you know, I couldn't help but to wonder what our lawmakers are doing in so many parts of Africa. When I watched that debate, I was like, these people meant business. They would get up, state their reasons for voting for or against the impeachment in a clear and concise manner. I'm like, wow, there was no ceremony or ceremony, at least what we see a lot of in Nigeria. Do you know that sometimes some of our lawmakers would even sing before saying what they want to say?
Praise the Lord, let the heart hear his voice.
Are you okay? Like, seriously, are you well? Don't you pity the man right now, enemy of progress. You need to get your acts together. Now, anyway, there was no long eulogy, like, you know, Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, and then they would turn their agbada. And then they will say, first of all, I want to thank God Almighty.
Mr. President, my respected colleagues, I want to thank God Almighty, who is the supreme controller of the universe.
I swear, you're about to lose your job before Christmas. What is wrong with you? Honestly, stop disrespecting Uncle Dino. Otherwise, me and you will enter one Sokoto. Anyway, after that long debate, Trump was impeached, making him the 3rd US president to get impeached. And you know, hopefully someday in Africa, we can also put the interest of nations before any man or woman in power, and not just impeach presidents who abuse their offices, but actually remove them. You know, because as far as I'm concerned, as you guys must have noticed, thunder takes way too long to strike in Africa. Whenever we say thunder, fire, it takes way too long for thunder to fire, okay? Because I have never heard of a president that was impeached in Africa. Let me know if you guys know about any president that was impeached in Africa, because there are so many of our presidents in Africa that should be impeached. Amen, somebody. And I'm not just talking about people like Paul Biya of Cameroon, Museveni, Theodore Obiang of Equatorial Guinea. Do you guys know that hashtag impeach Buhari was also trending on Twitter? I was like, what? Obviously, for constantly disobeying court orders, among other things. But you know, I can't say anything about that because it may be considered hate speech. But if I were you, Mr. President, in case you're watching, you know, I would take a critical look at the peripheral level of my performance, you know, because you've disappointed Nigerians. Your government has been a huge disappointment. And speaking of disappointment, I can't even explain how upsetting it is to hear that our lawmakers in Nigeria want to spend 37 billion naira. That is $101 million to renovate the National Assembly. I'm like, what the heck? Quite frankly, these people don't even give a damn. As in, they don't give a damn. They're determined to ruin the country. And Buhari approved. I'm like, who spends $100 million on renovating anything in Africa? Seriously, I thought he said that he's not corrupt. But Nigerians are saying that by him approving that renovation, Buhari bribed the lawmakers so that they will also approve another $30 billion loan that he's requesting. I'm like, hey, father, why in the world do we need another debt of $30 billion? $30 billion, not naira. What the heck? If they were actually using this money wisely and we see what they are doing with the money, maybe we could hope for a return on investment. These people are just conjuring the money. 80% is embezzled. This renovation, for example, that the lawmakers want to do, we already know that more than half of the money will be shared among the lawmakers. No, so, and then they will do some paintings and they will replace the chairs and windows, and then they will tell us that they've spent $37 billion. The toilet that will fire these people is doing press up. People need to realize what this money could do. You know, if they should spend just 3 million naira to build boreholes with tanks and pipes so that people are not just pumping for one community. With this renovation money that the lawmakers want to use, at least 12,300 communities in Nigeria would have water. In America, you know, the average cost of starting a new urgent care clinic, that is like a walk-in clinic with x-rays, ultrasounds, and other necessary equipment where people can receive immediate treatment rather than having to go to a big hospital and wait all day. You know that the average cost is estimated between $850,000 to $1 million. And we know that materials are not as expensive in Nigeria as they are in the US, as well as labor force. It's not that expensive in Nigeria. But even if we go by $1 million per clinic, that means we can have 100 new clinics in Nigeria, 3 new clinics in each state of Nigeria. And I know for sure that $500,000 is more than enough to build a clinic or urgent care in Nigeria, which will give us 6 clinics in each state of Nigeria. But you know what? Let's go with $1 million. That would be 100 clinics in Nigeria. That would create new job opportunities for doctors, for nurses, cleaners, technicians. And guess what? Less people will die because people will have access to immediate treatment. But you know, forget about hospitals. One of the best universities, not just in Ghana, but in Africa as far as I'm concerned, is Ashesi University in Ghana. And they have a very beautiful campus up on the mountains in Berekuso, Ghana. And I remember when they were building this permanent site, their fundraising goal at that time was $6.4 million. When was it? Thank you very much. Not long ago. And I'm very sure they probably spent more. Maybe they spent like $10 million. I may be wrong. But if they could build this school with $6.4 million or $10 million, whatever, that means we can have at least 10 new universities that will look like this in Nigeria with this money that these people want to spend to renovate the National Assembly. In fact, even if it's just 5 new universities, it's something. There will be new job opportunities. Students will have new school options. And you know, I'm just trying to say that this money could change millions of lives. And I'm not saying that they should not renovate the National Assembly, but not with $100 million, for God's sake. When people are dying on our roads every day due to accidents that could be prevented if the roads were fixed. Amen, somebody. No electricity. I mean, NEPA or power holding company, whatever they call themselves, they went on strike recently and people didn't even notice because everybody has a power generator. How pathetic is that? Why can't we spend this money on solar? You know, misplaced priority is seriously worrying us in Nigeria. It is very, very sad. And this money that Buhari is borrowing, Father, I don't even know where to start. I've heard some people saying, well, every country borrows to develop infrastructure. I'm like, shoo, can we justify what this government has done with all the money that they've borrowed so far? Seriously, can we justify it? We already have a debt of $70 billion. Who's going to pay it? 70, you guys are not understanding. $70 billion. Premium Times reported that this 2020 budget passed by the National Assembly contains 264 billion naira of fraudulent projects. That is $725 million on fraudulent projects. Like seriously, as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria has absolutely no business borrowing money. Countries that don't have oil like we have, or half of other things that we have in Nigeria, they're doing way better in managing their economy without getting in debt like we do. But you know, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about these old people leaving debt behind for us that are coming and also spending billions on renovations. You know, of course, someday Sunday will fire all of them. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just skipping it around. Moving on to Uganda. If you guys remember in 2017, a woman was jailed for describing their president Museveni as a pair of buttocks. On Facebook. So seriously though, arresting someone for what they write on their personal Facebook wall, the devil is a liar. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, meet the amazing Dr. Stella Nyanzi. She said that Museveni and his wife have raped all of Uganda in the 30+ years that they've been in power, which It's true. Anyway, she was jailed at that time, but she didn't stop speaking up against Museveni, even after they fired her at her job at Makerere University because of her activism.
My job was taken away, so I'm unemployed, I'm unemployable, I am poor, I am not earning an income. I will not allow them to take my voice away from me. There's nothing that they can do to me that I haven't seen. I have seen it all. And I was very scared of jail. Having gone there, it was such an experience. I do not fear jail anymore.
They prevented her from traveling outside Uganda, limiting her movements and constantly monitoring her. Apparently, though, one of the campaign promises of Museveni in the last election was that he would provide sanitary pads for menstruating teenage girls so that they won't have to miss school, especially in rural parts of Uganda.
While campaigning in Langos sub-region in 2015, President Museveni pledged that if re-elected, his government would provide school-going girls with free sanitary pads.
So that the girls don't run out of school because they are embarrassed by that thing.
By the way, about 30% of schoolgirls in rural part of Uganda reportedly drop out when they start their menstruation because many of them use cloth or toilet paper instead of using pads or tampons or all these other options that are out there because they are constantly worried that their uniform will be stained. Some of these girls actually drop out of school because boys made fun of them when their uniform got stained with blood and they couldn't deal with facing that embarrassment.
For school-going girls, the stigma from people around them normally affects their performance. Many school-going girls can miss up to 5 days of school a month or drop out entirely due to menstruation-related issues because they don't have access to sanitary materials, which sometimes are expensive.
You'll find that they'll start shying away, the girls will look aside, the boys will start to laugh, they'll call them names, and it will become a discomforting process.
In fact, I read the story of some of those girls. It was heartbreaking for me. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. Menstruation is not something that a lot of people in rural places are comfortable talking about openly. It's like a taboo. I'm like, what the heck? However, after winning the election, Museveni did not fulfill his promise of providing pads. He said that there is no money.
However, the Minister for Education, Janet Museveni, revealed that this is not possible because the ministry has no funds to cater for the pledge. She spoke to members of Parliament's Education Committee.
And I want you also to know that we haven't got the funding for this in our budget yet.
Can you imagine? So, of course, Dr. Stella was upset about that, and she started raising money to provide reusable pads for girls in rural areas. And in September of last year, she wrote another poem on Facebook that got her arrested again. I mean, they must be sitting on her Facebook page. This is unbelievable. Why are they monitoring her Facebook page? This is so pathetic. In that poem, though, she cursed the day that Museveni was born. She also said some things about the vagina that gave birth to Museveni. Suggesting that he should have died at birth. Anyway, so she's been in prison now since like November 2018. This woman is fearless, though. You need to see her speak in court.
Why are you beating my volume? Why did you bring me to this place without my consent?
You know
what is happening to justice in Uganda? Is this the sort of justice that works for us? A magistrate who is too cowardly to call my complainant. Look at you. Look at you.
I'm like, oh my God.
It is immoral for us to either keep quiet, to be silent, or otherwise to praise a dictator. We can't afford to do that.
Now her supporters are always there to cheer her up. I mean, court session is like, what? It's like a rally. In fact, one of the supporters once threw an object at the judge after sentencing her to 9 months in prison.
The convict is hereby sentenced to an imprisonment term of 9 months.
Omulamuzi akipaka amazi mu face naito omusirikale wa mutaase.
Whoa. Okay, so there was also a time that she got to court and the judge was not there. Everybody was running late and she was so mad.
Give me a court match. How can court be late? I am a prisoner from Luzira prison. How can court be late? I came on time for court. Court had better be on time for me. Bring Museveni to court to come and accuse me. Tell Museveni to be a man and come and meet me in court.
Tell them, my mother.
Like, fuck justice. Where is the judge? How can I sit in a judge's chair? I have come to High Court and there is no magistrate and I am sitting in her chair with so much pleasure. It is already time and there is no justice. How can justice be laid out?
So in this next video I'm about to play, I think they wanted her to beg and she refused. Instead, she called their attention to the deplorable condition of the toilets in the prison.
Please don't send me to jail. Your Honor, I will not say that. My children celebrate my protest actions. Think about the prisons you're sending women to. I'm not begging you not to send me there. But can something be done about the dirty toilets? The blocked toilets every 3 months in Luzira women prison. We have a sick bay with staff and no medicine. And so women get urinary tract infections.
Thank you, Jaya, my mother. So the good news is the High Court in Kampala on Monday awarded her 50 million shillings. That's about $13,600 in damages for violation of her right to movement. Although some people say that that's way too small and that amount is just an insult. They want her to be paid better. But the main issue is the woman is still in prison. I'm like, what the heck? They need to release this woman. Like, seriously. Now, whether you like her guts or not, whether you like the fact that she strips naked to protest against Museveni or not, Lord knows that we need women like her to challenge the status quo. Not just in Uganda, by the way, but in different parts of Africa. We need more women like this woman. Museveni has no business jailing anybody. Honestly, he just needs to step down. 34 years is more than enough to be But anyway, you guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to the Gambia, my Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that it's been 3 years since Adama Barrow was elected president in place of Alhaji Dr. Yaya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa? Oh, Father Lord Almighty, I can't believe it's been 3 years already. The problem is Adama Barrow promised at that time that he would only be in office for 3 years and that he would now step down and allow free and fair election without participating as a candidate in the election.
Once again, I know you signed this document to say you will leave after 3 years. Can we have you on record right here to say, despite what, whether you complete your job or not, or whatever project you have, at the end of the 3-year term, you will leave and we will go to the polls again?
It's a coalition. The agreement is 3 years. We have a mandate to do within that 3 years.
Thank you very much, my brother Yoda. Well, after my father tested the presidency, the story changed. He now said that he wants to be in office for 5 years, which is actually the normal length of a presidential term in the Gambia. But a lot of Gambians are upset because, first of all, they said he's not doing well. We'll come back to that. Second of all, they said he's breaking his promise. So anyway, a pro-democracy movement in the Gambia, known as 3-Year Jotna, took to the streets on Monday, protesting, calling for Adama Barrow to resign and organize a fresh vote, a fresh election. In fact, they've given him an ultimatum of January 19th of 2020 to step down.
They shout Jotna. In the local language, it means it's time. Time for President Adama Barrow to leave power. Protesters handed a petition to a government spokesman, setting an ultimatum for Barrow to leave power next month, as he promised to do so 3 years ago.
Okay. Now, in case you're wondering why they don't want him to be in office for 5 years, it's because a lot of Gambians are saying that the country is not doing well under Adama Barrow.
There's shortage of water, electricity, high prices in commodity goods. People cannot afford it. The country has gone backward. Jammeh was better than him. We would prefer Jammeh than him. He's worse than Jammeh.
Wait, what? Did you hear, the economy was better with Yaya Jammeh? My father and my God, the devil is a liar. My Gambian people, please let me hear from you. Is this true? Mr. Adama Barrow, in case you're watching, no, you cannot do us like this. How can you do us like this? How can Yaya Jammeh's time be better than yours? You know, I've actually heard that Yaya Jammeh would make sure that there was electricity and water during his time. Meanwhile, Barrow is busy eating with $41,000 a month. That's not good, my brother. Mr. President, it's just not correct. That is not correct. The funny thing is, some of the officials, they were also saying that he should be in office for 5 years.
You were on record as saying you want Barrow to serve 5 years instead of the 3 years as agreed by the coalition. Do you still maintain that position?
It's not what I want. It's what the law says. So why should people talk about 3 years, 4 years, 2 years?
So is it that the party has not reached, UDP has not reached an agreement, a decision on the issue of 3 years or 5 years, or they have, and then it will be premature for you to tell me?
No, it is that the UDP has not convened a meeting to discuss 3 or 5 years.
But after he fired them, they now joined the masses to say that he's supposed to be in office for 3 years.
Fourth condition is that the candidate, if elected, will serve for a term of 3 years, and at the end of that 3 years will step down. That is the pending condition that needs fulfillment.
What? Politicians, you know. Anyway, the one thing that I don't understand is why Adama Barrow would hire people that worked with Yaya Jammeh in his cabinet.
His political party has now stopped backing him because he has surrounded himself with allies to Yaya Jammeh. Jammeh's foreign and finance minister as well as police chief are now part of Barrow's cabinet.
See, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I want to hear from you guys. Anyway, you guys not know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. And we're back to Ghana, where a pastor bathed himself inside the church. I'm not even making this up. And then he gave the water to church members to drink. Oh, Lord Jesus. Baba. Also in the same cup. Father, Lord Almighty. Some people have liver. Anyway, if you're following me on Instagram, I'm sure you would have seen this video. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, please make sure that you do that, because that's how I share breaking news with people before the show comes out. If you're following me on Instagram, you would be seeing the stories much earlier. But all I'm trying to say is viewers' discretion is advised in watching this video, because some people just cannot stomach it.
Amen. Amen. Anointing.
Father. Oh my God. You know, you can't even laugh about something like this. The gods of some people. I don't even think I need to say anything about this kind of story. I mean, you see some people and they will look educated and exposed, and then they will do some dumb stuff, and you would wonder what happened to their medulla oblongata. I mean, look at the church members. Don't they look educated to you? In fact, I'm done. And seriously, it's not even the pastor. The problem is the church members. Father, I'll be right back. Anyway, Merry Christmas, my people. Whatever you are eating for Christmas, do not forget your girl. Just send me the jollof rice and the cake. Please don't forget to vote for us. So don't forget to vote for Kawa Foundation. The link is in the description below. Just click and vote. They won't ask for your name or email. I explained what this is about in the last episode. Please watch it if you're yet to. And don't forget to download SendWave and use my name Adela as promo code for you to get $5 or £5 added to whatever you're sending to your loved ones. That is if you live in the US, UK, Spain, Italy, and Ireland. So please make sure that you download SendWave if you live in any of those countries, because it is only if new people sign up with SendWave that Kawa Foundation or any foundation that you guys vote for would get the donation. So please vote for us from anywhere in the world, and please download SendWave and use my name Adela as promo code so they can add $5 to what you're sending to your loved ones, and also donate $5 to a foundation that you guys vote for. Now, for those who may be wondering, yes, I'm wearing ex-native design. Oh shit. Don't forget that they're giving you guys a 20% discount if you use my name Adela as promo code during the checkout. So make sure you visit their website xnative.com. So don't forget to subscribe if you're yet to. We're getting close to 350,000 subscribers. Let us get there before the new year. Haba. Alright, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, I'm gonna see you all later. Peace out.